Okay, so in last class we have completed the demo part of cloud automation with Terraform and Python. So today our activity is to set up Terraform on Windows and Mac operating systems. So today our activity is to set up Terraform on Windows and Mac and Linux operating systems. So you have to set up Terraform on Windows operating system. Okay, so first of all, we are going to set up a Chaco package management tool. Okay, so the first step is set up Chaco. So Chaco is a package management tool for Windows operating system. That means if you want to install softwares from command line, okay, on Windows operating system, we have to use Chaco. So here setting up Chaco. So how to set up Chaco? So to set up Chaco, let us go to official documentation of Chaco. Chaco installation on Windows. And this is a PowerShell script that you have to run from PowerShell admin mode so that Chaco will be set up. So once you set up Chaco, okay, using Chaco, you can install other softwares in the easiest way from command line. Okay, so I am writing the steps here. Execute the following PowerShell script from PowerShell admin mode. Okay, this is a script to be executed. And let us go to PowerShell. Open this PowerShell in admin mode. Even from command line also you can install. You can execute this script, but you have to open in admin mode. Okay, so just exactly like this, execute this command. Chaco was installed on my system. Okay, previously also I have Chaco, and once you execute this script, close the window and launch it again. And to test Chaco setup, again open in admin mode. Say Chaco -- version 1.2.1. So it is going to tell that Chaco was installed successfully. Now, this is first step. So second step is close and relaunch PowerShell and check Chaco version. Now execute Chaco -- version or Chaco -v. So now next, using Chaco, install Terraform. And here, just you can ask like this: Chaco Terraform. So there is one simple command you have to execute to set up Terraform, to install Terraform on Windows operating system. You need to run this command. Again, say this command must be run from PowerShell admin mode. From PowerShell admin mode, execute the following command. And you need not to give pre-option. Directly you can say Chaco install Terraform. -y means auto approval. Okay. So it is telling that Chaco was already there. Sorry, Terraform was already there. Okay, Terraform 1.7.5 already installed. Okay, so once you are doing this activity, execute Terraform -v to check Terraform installation. So are you seeing it is showing that Terraform 1.7.5 was installed. Now using Chaco, install one more software. This is using Chaco, install Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code, actually it is a nice editor which can be used, okay, to write Terraform scripting. So while writing Terraform scripting, it is going to give many hints. Okay, debugging, auto completion. Okay, so hints, so that kind of facilities are available in Visual Studio Code. And how to install Visual Studio Code here? And to install Visual Studio Code using Chaco, say Chaco Visual Studio Code. Just one simple command you need to execute. What is that command you need to execute? Just this command. From PowerShell admin mode, execute the following. Chaco install VS Code -y means -y means auto approval. So if you don't give -y, so it is going to ask questions like whether you want to install this package, that dependency. Okay, it requires that much of space. Do you want to continue, yes or no? That kind of unnecessary questions will be asking. So to avoid that kind of unnecessary questioning, we have to include -y option. Finally, using Chaco, install Git. So Git is a version control system, and Git is also used for connecting to Linux virtual machines from Windows. So using, so I'm not going to install Visual Studio Code because in my system already it is presented. Okay, if I click on again, my old version will be disturbed. Okay, once installation is completed, you must be able to see Visual Studio like this here. In the start menu, you can type like this, Visual Studio Code here, like this. You have to click on this so that Visual Studio Code will be installed. So once Visual Studio Code is installed, you have to add some extensions here, Terraform extensions. So how to do extensions here, how to add extensions here? There is an option called extensions. Extensions. And in the search, look for Terraform. And wherever you are seeing Terraform, okay, install all this. In my system already I have installed all Terraform extensions. Okay, Terraform, HashiCorp Terraform, Terraform auto completion, Terraform something Azure. Okay, so in my case already I installed all these extensions. Terraform Azure, it is not required. Terraform Azure also it is not required. Terraform and completer, it is also not required. Okay. Okay, so once you install Terraform extensions, okay, so finally we are going to install one software called Git. So how to install Git? Let us see. Chaco. Let us ask Git. It is also very easy to set up Git. Say Chaco install Git from PowerShell admin mode. Execute the following command. At last include -y. This is how you can install, okay, Chaco, Terraform and Visual Studio Code. So finally, you need to install one last software, that is AWS CLI. AWS CLI, that is to connect to AWS Cloud. Using Chaco, install AWS CLI. Chaco, AWS CLI. Now say Chaco install AWS CLI. So this command you have to execute from PowerShell admin mode. Execute the following from PowerShell admin. Chaco install AWS CLI. In my system, AWS CLI was installed. And once you are doing this activity, okay, let us open this PowerShell again. Press -y. Now just press enter. Within 2 or 3 minutes, AWS CLI will be installed. I don't do that because in my system already AWS CLI was installed. Say AWS -v. This is to check AWS version. This is to check installation. Okay. Now AWS CLI was installed successfully. Now this is how you can install AWS and Git, Visual Studio Code, Terraform on Windows platform. So is anyone using Mac?
Yes, I am using.
You are using which one?
MacBook Air I'm using. MacBook.
You are using Mac?
Yeah, MacBook, right.
And on Mac, first of all, you have to install Homebrew. Okay, Homebrew is like a package manager for Mac operating systems. So how to set up my Homebrew here? To set up Homebrew on Mac. Just you need to run one simple script from your Mac terminal. This is a script you have to run. From Mac terminal, run the following. This you have to run simply. This is first step. Second step is install Terraform using brew or homebrew. Both are same. Okay, say like this, brew. There it is Chaco, here it is brew. Brew Terraform. Ask like this. Just you need to run this command. Brew install Terraform. And install Visual Studio Code. Using say homebrew or brew Visual Studio Code. Just you need to run this command. Brew install cask Visual Studio Code. Fourth step is install what is that next software? Fourth one is what is the fourth one? Visual Studio Code was installed. Install Git. using brew. Homebrew git. Just one simple command, brew install git. Install AWS CLI using brew. Homebrew AWS CLI. Just run this command from your Mac terminal. From Mac terminal, execute the following. Brew install AWS CLI. Everything you have to execute from Mac terminal only. Okay. So finally, how to do it on Linux? So to do it on Linux, let us, I am giving a documentation. I am giving one link. Terraform on Ubuntu. Yeah, this is a documentation, simply you have to follow. Yeah, these are the links. Simply you have to run this command because I don't have Linux machine here. Okay, just having giving link, install Terraform. Exactly, you have to follow this documentation. I am giving link. Is anyone using Linux? This is the link. Okay. This is how you can set up Terraform on different operating systems like Windows, Mac, and Linux. There are so many links, guys. You can follow any of the link. How to install Terraform on Ubuntu 2022. Okay, clear steps are given. Just as it exactly, you have to copy paste the steps. I am giving second link also. If you have a Linux machine, just from your Linux terminal, open this link. Okay, you open this link in the browser and execute the steps whatever he has mentioned in this documentation. Okay, so this is a installation process. Now, when it comes to Terraform structure, architecture, Terraform yeah, some background noise is coming. Can you please mute? Okay. So when it comes to Terraform architecture and Terraform script, actually it is a collection of blocks. Every block will contain multiple statements. Every block will contain multiple statements. So the statements can be something like arguments or attributes. Okay. So Terraform Script is a collection of blocks. So what are the blocks that we are going to use here? The first block that we are going to use is provider block. So provider is nothing but it is a platform where you want to build your infrastructure. Provider is nothing but platform where you want to build your infrastructure. Provider can be like AWS provider, Azure provider. It is nothing but a cloud platform where you want to build your infrastructure. Okay. So the the provider information like plugin information, credentials information, username, password, everything we are going to write in provider block. Okay. So this block will contain all the platform information on which we have to build our infrastructure. And our very second block, that is resource block. So in the resource block, generally we are going to write something like resources information. Here we are going to specify what kind of resource you wanted to create. What kind of resource you wanted to create, like whether you want to create a virtual machine, storage, network, a database server, what kind of resource you wanted to create. So that kind of information will be there in resource block. Okay, this block contains the information like resources. Okay, so what kind of resource you wanted to create. Okay, in every cloud, okay, many resources are there, like virtual machines are there, load balancers are there, networking, database server. These are all resources. Which type of resource you wanted to create? Okay, so that can be specified in the form of resource block. Now, resource block will contain arguments. This block will contain arguments. Arguments are nothing but input values. Arguments are nothing but input values. Suppose I want to create a network. Okay, so to create a network, we have to pass on many input values like what is the network range, what is the network name, and how many subnets you wanted to create within that network. Okay, and suppose you want to create a virtual machine. To create a virtual machine, you need to specify many things like key name, network ID, and subnet information, security group. Many input values you have to specify. So those input values are nothing but arguments. And there is one more block. This is output block. Output block. Now this block will contain attributes. Attributes are nothing but output values. Output values. Okay. So generally when I create a network or any resource, so some default values will be generated. Suppose I create a virtual machine. Okay, after creating a virtual machine, public IP will be generated, private IP will be generated. Okay, some ARN will be generated. So that if I want to display that kind of details, okay, we can use the output block. Okay, so there are so many other blocks also available. Just for now, okay, so we are going to use these are three blocks: provider block, resource block, and output block. Now, how to set up Terraform, how to write Terraform script. Before that, you have to create a folder. Okay, so here how to create a folder here in any drive. Okay, create one folder. Show more options, select new. And this folder becomes our working folder for Terraform. Now I am giving a name called Terraform 16th July 2024 DURGASOFT. And you open this folder, right click, show more options, select git bash here. Here just write code dot. So code dot means it is going to open Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code software, Visual Studio Code editor will be opened in this folder. Terraform 16th July 2024 DURGASOFT. Okay, now it has opened Visual Studio Code within that folder. Now, before we are going to write anything in Terraform, we have to understand about basic commands of Terraform. Okay, Terraform frequently used commands. Frequently used commands. The first command is, it is something like Terraform format. So Terraform format is going to arrange your script in a proper order. Okay, so if you did not, if you don't write script in a proper order, and if you execute Terraform format, it is going to perform indentation. It is going to arrange script in a proper order. That is the use of Terraform format command, FMT command. And initially, you have to download provider plugins here. Suppose I want to deal with AWS Cloud. I want to deal with AWS Cloud. So to deal with AWS Cloud, we have to download AWS plugins. So any kind of provider should be downloaded first. Okay, so that can be local provider or cloud provider. Local provider means in the local machine also we can create some files by using local file provider. So for that we are going to execute a command called Terraform init command. Terraform init command is going to download all the necessary plugins, provider plugins. So once you download all the necessary plugins, so the next command to be executed is Terraform plan command. So this is going to give draft. Okay. So it is going to give design. So before you are going to commit, before you are going to create any infrastructure, you can take a draft. Okay. You can take a design. So that kind of design part is given by using Terraform plan command. Okay. So if you feel everything okay, so directly you can run a command called Terraform apply command. When you execute Terraform apply command, what happens here? So whatever infrastructure you are creating, that infrastructure will be created when I say Terraform apply command. Okay. So when I execute Terraform apply command, what happens? A state file is created. So in that state file, it is going to maintain the state, current state, like what are the resources it has created. So that kind of state management is available in state file. Finally, okay, so if you want to destroy whatever information you have created, whatever resources you have created, so there is a final command called Terraform destroy command. Okay, these are the 5 frequently used commands. Okay, so for our tasks. So from tomorrow onwards, we will see how to deal with AWS Cloud. So today we will see one sample example. Today we will see one sample examples like how to deal with the local provider. So to deal with local provider, okay, first let me show documentation of Terraform. So here you can ask like this Terraform providers. So there are thousands of providers are available here. These are all providers, guys. Provider is nothing but a platform where you want to create infrastructure. Okay, these are the providers: AWS provider, Azure, GCP, Kubernetes, Alibaba Cloud, Oracle Cloud, Active Directory. Okay, so if you scroll a little bit down, are you seeing these many providers are there? 43, 41. So this is all providers. So if you want to know only official providers, okay, so there are only 33 providers are there. And partner providers, these are the partner providers, 352. And if you want to know about all providers, official, partner, and community, okay, so these are the providers that is going to support. 43, 41 providers, Terraform is going to support. So for every activity, there is a excellent documentation from Terraform. Okay, you need not to worry about anything. Suppose I want to know, okay, about local provider, then you can simply, you can type local here. HashiCorp local. So there are examples here using providers view tutorial. Okay, there is no example given here. Directly you can type here like this: Terraform local provider. Local provider, simply it is going to create a local file. That example is a local provider. Resources, local file. Are you seeing here? This is a local provider. Resource, okay, and resource type. Resource type is a local file. Okay, yeah, the provider name itself local file, and this is a name. You can give any name, but this name is for Terraform only. It is not for our purpose. And these are the arguments. These are the arguments that we can give with resource block. And like what is the file name and what is the content of the file. Okay, so these are all arguments, guys. Content. Okay, file permissions. While creating file also you can specify file permissions. Sensitive content. Okay, if it is something like password kind of information, you can use sensitive content. Source, content base. These are the arguments that you can give. Okay, now let me write a resource block in my Visual Studio Code and let us create a new file. I am creating a file called file.tf. Okay, so the name can be anything, but the extension must be .tf. Here I am writing something like resource. Are you seeing when I typing something, automatically ints are coming here? So this is the power of extensions. Just now we have installed extensions, right? Local file. Are you seeing automatically something is coming here? Local file. The moment I am typing, automatically ints are giving here. Local file. Here I am giving like my file. Content. Are you seeing automatically arguments are coming here? Content equal to hi. This is my first file. And what is another argument here? In the documentation, we can see file name. Okay, file name is another argument. File name equal to testing file. And suppose I don't write any indentation. Okay, let us write like this here. Okay, there is no proper indentation. Okay, once you are writing this, okay, you can format it. How to format it? So to format it, go to command prompt here. So go to terminal, new terminal, and here open git bash. Okay, now let us execute a command called Terraform fmt format. Just focus on this. When I execute fmt, are you seeing automatically indentation has come here? This is the power of Terraform fmt. Okay, so our next job is to download the plugins, provider plugins. So to download provider plugins, the next command to be executed is Terraform init. Are you seeing it has successfully initialized here? So it has created a file called terraform.log.hcl. And this file contains all the provider information. Okay, so when you are doing this activity for first time, you have to execute Terraform init command so that, okay, whatever you have written in this file.tf, in the file.tf, just by looking at file.tf, okay, it is going to understand that for this application, it requires a local provider. So it has downloaded local provider. Local provider version is 2.5.1. Okay, now you have downloaded all the plugins. Now, if you want to take a draft, so there is a command called Terraform plan. Okay, so it is going to tell that it has given a draft that it is going to create a file with these default values. like content equal to hi, this is my first file, and base values, file name equal to testing file, ID equal to this one. These are the default permissions. And if you want to really implement this plan, execute Terraform, apply, say auto approve. Okay, so a file was created here. So whatever file you have mentioned in file.tf, that is testing file you have mentioned, right? The testing file was created here. So if you open this testing file, this is a content. Hi, this is my first file. And are you seeing it? State file was also created here, terraform.tf state file. I told you, right? Terraform's best capability is to maintain state. Okay, in this state file, so it has recorded the information. Like what is the content base 64, these are the default values, guys. This is provider information. Provider is information is local information. Because this is auto-generated file. Okay, you need not to write. Okay, this is in JSON format. Don't mess up with this file. So if you mess up with this file, okay, your total structure will be destroyed. Okay, this is auto-generated file. Guys, is it clear so far?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Praveen Yanugu, you are new, right, today? Oh, Praveen, can you hear me? ఆయన కాలేదా ఇంకా 3 minutes ఉంది చేస్తా. Okay, is everything clear? So can you introduce yourself if you don't mind? Your mic is not working. Okay, is everything clear? Whatever you have discussed so far? Okay. Now finally, we are going to execute one command. Let us destroy whatever infrastructure we have created. So if you want to destroy the infrastructure, simply say Terraform destroy -- auto approve. Generally, we don't destroy like this here. Destroy Terraform destroy auto approve. In companies, no one is going to destroy because we have to clean up every resource. Just I'm executing all the commands here. And whatever files are created are using that was destroyed here. And finally, whatever information in the state file that is moved to backup file. Backup file is previous state. TF state is current state. In the current state, there is no files like that. Okay, so whatever information is there in Terraform state file that is completely moved to tf state.backup file. Guys, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will stop it for today. Tomorrow, we are going to see how to connect to the AWS cloud and how to create resources. How you can automate resource creation from Terraform. That we are going to discuss in tomorrow's class. So if no questions are there, I will stop it for today. We can meet in tomorrow's class with same link. Is it okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Just practice this exercise. Practice this hands-on. Set up Terraform on Windows and Mac, whichever operating system you have, and write resource block. Execute these 4 commands: Terraform format, Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform apply, Terraform destroy. Execute all these 5 commands. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Tomorrow meet again.
Shiva, this recording will get to us or?
Yeah, you can meet. You can contact DURGASOFT training team. Print office team. They will provide you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.